Hey, I'm Davin Friedman, class of 2026. Welcome to the Rambler Podcast.
And I'm Natalie Spano, class of 2026. Before you dive into this episode, we wanted to share a quick message with you.
At Cathedral Prep, every opportunity we have in the classroom, on the field, and beyond is made stronger by the Fund of Excellence.
This fund supports tuition assistance, academic programs, athletics, and faith formation. Everything that makes prep.
When you give, you help students like us thrive.
Please make your impact today by visiting www.cathedralprep.com/give. Thank you for believing in us.
Hi everyone, my name is Jimmy Smith and welcome to episode number 85 of the Rambler Podcast, where we are passionate about sharing what makes Cathedral Prep the standard of excellence. And on this episode of the podcast, I'm excited to have on Pete Wagner as a guest. Pete graduated from Cathedral Prep in 2006, and he is entering now his 10th season as the Prep head women's soccer coach. While a student at Cathedral Prep, he spent 3 years on the varsity team, earning back-to-back District 10 titles, and as a senior and team captain, he helped his team earn a spot in the state quarterfinals. After his time at Prep, Pete went on to play Division I soccer at Cleveland State University, helping the team to become the most improved team in the country. He then transferred and graduated from Edinboro University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Elementary Education, Special Education. He is currently working at Woodrow Wilson Middle School as a 7th and 8th grade autistic support teacher. Pete has been coaching soccer for the past 17 years at the high school and club levels, leading many of his teams to multiple tournament championships, including in 2014 he coached the Erie Admirals under-13 girls to the Indoor National Championship. And after 3 years as the head JV women's soccer coach and assistant varsity women's soccer coach at Villa Maria Academy, helping lead the Victors to a state title in 2015. He also helped lead them to a trip to Hershey where they finished runner-up in the state in 2019 and this past season, 2024. And good place to note here also that on September 25th this year, that 2015 Villa soccer team will be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame as well. Pete resides in Erie with his wife Katie Hirsch, Villa class of 2004, and their 2-year-old son Landon. So Pete, we're glad to have you on. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And our time goes back to 2017 when we first met. You were the Villa soccer head coach, and I had come on to work with Tom Schumacher at the Event Center, and I kind of got back acquainted into the world of Prep and Villa athletics, and here we go.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, a lot of good times and good stuff happening. But no, congratulations on that 2015 team being inducted into the Hall of Fame as well, which you were a part of.
Thank you very much. Very honored to be inducted, and I'm super happy for the girls.
It's got to feel kind of like, I don't know, do you have a sense of it felt like that team was just yesterday, but then also you look back, it's like, wow, it was, 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. It feels like it was just yesterday, and now most of those girls have jobs. They're all over the country, have lives, and kind of looking like a young me when I first started at Villa as the coach.
It's funny. And no, it's great. I think one of the things that I really appreciate more and more each year is like the commitment and dedication of coaches like yourself. I mean, obviously Prep is known as an athletic school, great academic programs, great art programs, and athletic being the one that's probably the most well-known over the decades. And just appreciate, your commitment to the program and the number of years you've been a part of it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Now all the flatteries are done. We can, yeah, just kidding. Get into some of the questions I have for you. It's pretty neat. It's cool to see, you graduated from Prep and then later on came on to coach at Villa. Now you're coaching for Prep since it's a Prep girls team. Can you talk to us about kind of your Prep experience a little bit? Maybe starting off with why you decided to become a Rambler at Cathedral Prep.
I mean, I grew up a Prep fan. My dad was a graduate, class of 75. We went to tons of football games. My older brother Rob came here, he was class of 02, and then my younger brother Sam followed in our footsteps, class of 08. I mean, growing up, we just went to tons of football games at the stadium where it felt like they were all sold out to me as a young kid. And when Prep went on to win the 2000 state championship, a bunch of people from our neighborhood rented a coach bus and went down to the game, and it was just an awesome atmosphere basically where I fell in love and knew I was going there. There was never a second school in my choice.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think a lot of us in our kind of generation were, like, I graduated in 2011, of course, so just a few years behind you, but, you know, those are the memories we have, is going to Vet Stadium on a Friday night, watching the Ramblers compete out there. One of your classmates, John Sear, I had on the podcast before, and I remember him being the quarterback, you know, when I was a middle schooler and stuff. So, very, very fond memories of those days.
I mean, even the 2019 football game, we went to my good friend Warren Knibe, his dad's dentist office, and we were watching it on the little TV screens in the operatory, sitting in the chairs watching it, while the dads were out upstairs watching it on the big screen. We were just hanging out watching the game. So
that's really cool. Yeah, and those are some of the things that does make prep special. I didn't know you had, you know, siblings and your dad went here, and it is cool to see the amount of families who, it's your story exactly. My brothers went here, my dad went here, and now for the girls to be able to say, you know, they're a part of it is really cool.
right.
And this is kind of question inserting in the middle here, but good question to ask you. So obviously you have those fond memories from being a student at prep. You coached at Villa. You were really a part of the transition to help the girls that were from Villa now starting at prep. From your perspective, how'd that go with those girls that, I guess they're all now probably graduated, right?
Yeah. I think last year was the last group of Villa girls.
Yeah.
Last one's to don the Villa jersey.
That's right. Yeah. How did that transition go from your perspective with working with the team at that time? I'm sure there was a lot of feelings and a lot of, you know, thoughts with it, but once they got into the school, how did it go?
I mean, I think at first it was kind of a shock to a lot of their systems. Like, gosh, I've been always going to school with just girls. Now I got guys coming in. I gotta get ready and look presentable for people, you know. And then they show up here, and everyone is kind of the same. You wake up early in the morning, you put your school uniform on, and you just go to school. And I think the girls really embraced it. I thought they did a great job with the transition, and I think the beautiful building over there kind of helped out.
Yeah.
You walk into this nice new STEM lab and beautiful cafeteria, college campus style cafeteria.
Yeah.
I think that helps out, and I know, from what the girls say, the boys are very welcoming, so I think it went well.
That's good. Yeah. I think the boys needed that, as well, to have the girls in the building.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as a coach, too, it helps. Obviously we don't recruit, but in terms of talking to prospective students to come to prep and play soccer, to be able to showcase the building, the academic culture, and everything else that goes into being a student athlete, you know, with that, I'm sure it makes the conversation a lot easier for you.
Yeah. It's a huge part of the open house when you walk in and they come up to your table and start talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this place is incredible.
Yeah.
Even the first time I walked through, I mean, when I graduated in 2006, I think the main update was new, bigger lockers so that the kids could fit their laptops in it. It is a giant change, but there's still a lot of the old traditions there. So it's a nice combination of new and old.
Yeah. And kind of speaking of the traditions and, you know, from your time, you were mentioning the bigger lockers. That's a funny little note, too. When you kind of think about, like, your time at prep, are there special memories that really stick out to you, or teachers from your time that really made prep a special, you know, place while you were a student?
Yeah, I mean, I had countless teachers that had an impact on me, including Mr. Achille, Mr. Deschner, Mr. Shinsky. I kind of liked the strict teachers that really would get on you if you were messing around. But one of my favorite teachers was Mrs. Mullen. She was extremely tough, but also extremely fair. If you weren't doing the right thing, she'd let you know, but if you were, she'd be right there to support you. And if you ever needed any help, her door was always open. First thing in the morning, you could come in, she'd help you get your homework done if you were struggling with it. But one of my favorite memories was I had her first period junior year, and I believe we had just won the District 10 title against McDowell. I think it was in overtime, so it was a late night. And I sat next to a teammate of mine, Eric Tattersall, and we came in, we were exhausted from the game, sitting in the back row since I was W, he was T. And Mrs. Mullins at the front of the room doing a problem on the board. She asks Eric a question, and he glances over at me like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "Sorry, bud." And he just kind of stares at her, and she looks at him, looks at me and goes, "Great win last night. If you sit back there, you pay attention, you don't fall asleep, I won't bother you for the rest of the period." So again, going back to the tough and fair, she knew we had a game that night, we had our work done, we might not have been paying as close attention as we wanted to, but if we didn't mess around and we stayed awake and paid attention, she had her back. And of course, beating McDowell was a big to her too.
Yeah, if you would have lost, the story would have been completely different.
Yeah, she would have been like, "You better get up here and finish this problem."
That's right. That's an awesome story. And that is cool, because I think that is such a common teacher that gets brought up as Mrs. Mullen. And tough but fair is a great way to put it. Yeah.
My dad says the same thing about her. He had her growing up, coming through the halls of prep, and one of his favorite teachers too.
That's cool. Yeah, that's hilarious. And you mentioned Bob Achille, of course, who just retired, but Rolf Deschner as well. Obviously, some staples that have been a part of the prep faculty for so many years. And it's fun. Bob's going to be a substitute, and then Rolf has been a substitute ever since he retired in 2018. So it's fun to see Rolf in the hallway, and it's great to see their presence still here and a part of the school.
Yeah, I still see him every now and then out in the community, and he comes up and says hi, and I go, "You still subbing there?" And he says, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, we definitely appreciate Rolf and Bob and all the great faculty members who have been a part of that prep tradition and prep culture for so many years. And I thought it was pretty cool too, reading your bio. You were a 3-year varsity player, a senior captain. Obviously, soccer, part of your passion, right? You're coaching, and you've been a part of it. And you mentioned just a little soccer story here now tied to Joanne Mullen. But can you also tell us about what you remember most from your soccer time playing at Prep?
I mean, I think some of my fondest memories aren't like the big wins. Of course, always winning District 10, beating McDowell, your big rival, were huge things. But the time I spent with the teammates was the best part about it. I will especially remember my senior year because that group of kids played on the same club team. I think there were 7 of us on the team. And we started together at 12 years old. Some of us started at 8. But when we turned 12, we all went over to the Admirals, and Sam Toyega was actually our coach at 12. So our senior year was his first year as the head coach at Prep. And I'll just remember the times that we had together going out to Gate of Heaven and practicing, wondering how much we were going to have to run today or what we were going to do. But the times that I had with them were the best times. And I think that goes for a lot of the teams. Like, you remember your big overtime win, Villa Girls against Mercyhurst, or run to the state championship. But when you get back together, you really just sit down and talk about what you did as a group.
Yeah.
I mean, you may relive some of those big games and whatnot. Like, I get together with my friends who graduated with me, and we still talk about how 2 weeks into the season I broke my arm, or how in this state, I think it was quarterfinals, Luke Stedman broke his jaw. And we just relived the moments during the season that happened and how we moved on from those things and what transpired after that. Who stepped up into a role that maybe they weren't in. We just relived those moments.
Yeah.
That's what I'll always remember, is just sharing the field with those guys.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and I think sports is such an important aspect of just like development through those high school years. I mean, you really get, if you have a great coach and you get pushed to compete at your best, you face challenges and you face setbacks, and to your point, you get guys that have to step into roles they weren't maybe expecting to be in, and you get the thrills of victory, but also the heartbreaks of losses too that happen, and you learn a lot of life lessons through sports. And that's really cool. Yeah, as much as the big wins are part of what we remember, it's also those moments on the field, that dumb stories, goofy stories, everything in between that makes it fun.
Yeah.
And you've been coaching, as we mentioned, for 17 years now, and it's pretty neat to see that your passion for the game now transitioned to being on the other side, where now you get to help, mentor and lead and guide, your players. And what kind of first sparked your passion to get into coaching? Because I think it's really a great thing to see you out there doing that with the girls. And I guess also kind of second, so what kind of got you started in coaching, and then also what has kept you motivated to be coaching for this long too?
I mean, I think it starts all the way back to me as a young kid. When I started playing soccer, I think I was like 5. And then when things started getting serious was probably when I was about, 12, 13 years old. And I started having these dreams of, I want to play Division I college soccer. And that was my main goal going forward. I didn't think about, hey, what do I want to do for a job? Does this Division I school that may offer me have my degree that I want to get?
Right.
So I just wanted to play Division I soccer. So I got the opportunity and went to Cleveland State, played there. I was actually one of 12 freshmen that they brought in that year.
Wow.
And they went 0-16-1 the year before. We went 6-10-2 my freshman year. And we actually started 11 freshmen in one game, which was pretty cool. And I got to be a part of that. So I don't know how many Division I college teams do that, if any, but it was pretty cool to be a part of. Unfortunately, I hurt my knee, and Cleveland State at the time was a giant commuter school. So I wasn't really in love with the school. I loved my teammates, I loved the team, loved the coaches, but I had a hard time at the school. I'd talk to my friends that were at Penn State, and they'd be like, oh, this is amazing. Or my friends that were at Dayton, this is great. And I'm like, I meet like 10 kids in my class, and I never see them until the next class because they go home.
Right.
But when I came home, Sam Toyega actually asked me if I would join Prep's boys staff. So I was an assistant there for 4 years on the varsity level, for all 4, but I moved down to the JV assistant my last 2 to help Vinny Padalino out. And that's really where I started to fall in love with coaching and love it. So when the opportunity came to be an assistant coach at Villa, I couldn't pass it up, of course.
Yeah.
Because I had to take a year off for student teaching. I just couldn't commit to the time to be on the field and make everything. So that was 13 years ago when I became the Villa assistant coach, and now I'm here. What keeps me going is the joy I see in the players when they have success. I mean, I'd be lying if I tell you I didn't like to win, and I dislike losing significantly. I think every girl that would come into your office would tell you I despise losing because winning's so much more fun.
That's right.
But the more important thing is the joy I see in the girls and how they come together as a group, especially when you bring in kids from all over the county. I mean, we get Harbor Creek kids, Mill Creek kids, Fairview kids, and Meadville kids. We've had a lot of kids coming from down there. And just bringing that big mix of kids together, sometimes you can get some clashes. But watching them grow as a group and enjoy their time together and share their successes and cry with each other over big losses, I mean, that really brings you to a different perspective on things as an older guy, I guess I could say now.
Yeah,
almost
right.
40. But one of the main things that, not main things, but one thing that really kept me going was after we lost the state finals in 2019, where I'm taking it real hard, sitting in front of the bus, thinking about, God, what could I have done different? What could I have changed just to get them to that moment? Because I wanted to see them run on the field, hug each other, and embrace in their championship they just won. But a couple juniors that were coming back next year walk up to the front of the bus when we're like, I don't know, hour and a half away from home, and they go, hey, Coach, you coming back next year? And just that was just like, God, these kids really want me here.
Yeah.
They enjoy the program, which makes me as a coach feel like, okay, I'm doing something right, even though we just lost one of the biggest games of my career.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If you guys want me back, for sure, I'm here. So I think making an impact on players that want you to be there makes you want to come back. But just as much as everyone says coaches have huge impacts on players, which I think they do just as teachers do. I mean, some of the kids I teach at Wilson, I might be their biggest bright spot in their day.
Right.
But I think players make just as much of an impact on coaches.
It's got to feel quite, I'd say, addicting to see your team progress, as you're saying, and to see the joys and even see like them have mental clicks too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they're finally getting something, or they spent the off season working hard after a loss like that in 2019. Those girls coming back, but I can imagine it's pretty addicting to see how much joy and how much growth that these girls do in your program, and like to your point, okay, they enjoy being here. They actually want me back.
Yeah.
But also for you to be able to be a part of their successes and being able to lead them. I'm sure that's a very, very addicting part of coaching.
Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
I mean, the one girl that came up to the front of the bus happens to be Ella Raimondi, who is now at the University of Dayton in her senior year.
Yeah.
And was just named top drawer soccer team of the week for NCAA, which was pretty cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. And that is a part of coaching that I can imagine is super special and makes you feel good when the team's not saying, "Hey, coach, you on your way out? Can we get someone else in there?
Can we get someone different coming?"
That's funny. And when it comes to, so speaking of the 2019 team, so you were a part of the 2015 state championship team, and then you're a part of, obviously leading in the 2019 team to the state finals this past season in 2024. It's kind of like a general kind of like coaching question for you, something that we can learn from your perspective. But what are some of the elements that make those groups so special? Were there certain things that those teams had that kind of gives you a vision of where the team needs to go now every year? Just kind of a general question I wanted to throw in there for you.
I mean, we as coaches try to build a culture not just as a team, but as a family. My staff and I really try to nail it into them. Like, listen, we're not just the prep girls soccer team. When we come together as a family. We like to describe the soccer season as the longest, shortest season you'll ever be a part of, because you jam 18 regular season games into a 2-month period, basically.
Yeah.
And you're practicing every day, except for that day you have to take off. But so really, realistically, you're with your team, which we call family, every single day of the week, playing a game, practicing, riding a bus. I mean, at times, I think I'm with the soccer family more than I am with my own family, which makes it hard on my wife and kid, but they're very supportive of what I do, and they're at every game, and always they're supporting me. But yeah, I mean, I think just making sure that your team comes together as a family is a huge element that makes a team successful.
Yeah.
Because family always has each other's back. But I mean, as many coaches know, there's always some aspect of luck that goes into it. But if you continue to work as hard as you possibly can and are dedicated to your family, good things happen and you create your own luck.
So it seems like the biggest thing here that I'm taking from this is that some of the groups that are the closest and looking out for each other tend to create more success. Obviously, talent's part of it,
Correct.
Coaching, execution, all the logistical things that go into the game. But seems like the ones that I'm hearing are the ones that have the biggest bond, the biggest connection together, seem to strive for more together. Is that kind of what you would say?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. I think the teams that really buy into that family aspect seem to bring the most success to them.
Yeah.
Again, you're going to have injuries, you're going to have unlucky moments that might set one of your teams that you thought, like, hey, listen, this was a great group of girls, just had a bad bounce that day and unfortunately got knocked out.
Right. Yeah, that's certainly some of the stuff that happens for sure, I can imagine. And it's crazy. We were talking earlier, you're entering your 10th season now as the head coach of the program. And you've been coaching for 17 years, but I think as the head coach of a program, you're running this part of the organization in a sense, the soccer program for Cathedral Prep, for the girls' side here. What are you most proud of? For what you as the head coach, you as a staff, your staff has done, your team. What are you most proud of when it comes to the program's growth and culture you've been able to establish?
I'm most proud of what I see. I mean, obviously proud of the accomplishments we make on the field, but most proud of what I see with the girls, what they do when they leave or when their season's over, what they move on to next. I love seeing girls move into the college ranks and make strides to be starters on Division I teams or Division II, Division III, and they come back and they thank us for what we trained them in, how we helped them get there. I love seeing what they're doing in academic classrooms because I think that's a big part of being a student athlete is academics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some kids, let's use Emma Shimmick, for example. She was probably one of the best goalies I've ever coached. She was on the 2015 state championship team, went to Notre Dame, probably could have walked on and played there, in my opinion. But she went the academic route and went for like some crazy smart thing that I could have never done. But seeing what they do outside when they leave the doors of prep or they leave our soccer program, seeing what they do outside of there, knowing that you had a small part of it, just puts a smile on my face and makes me think that I did a decent job helping them get there.
Yeah.
I also like seeing when I go to sporting events, I go to a lot of basketball games, some football games, seeing my team in the cheering section, and a lot of them are sitting next to each other, hugging each other during big plays, cheering on the team together, which makes me think that that family thing is really sticking with them, even when our season's over.
Yeah. Like a proud dad.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. 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 That's really neat. And it is cool because, to your point, when we were talking earlier, I started working at the event center, you start to realize, wow, fall sports season really is September, October. You know, to your point about putting 18 games and practicing almost every day into 2 months, and then you do your playoff run beyond that. But it is a really condensed time frame when you think about all that goes into it. But it is neat to see from then on what the girls, those bonds that were created during the season. It's a great place to be with the fall sports, because then it's going to carry over into the rest of the school year for them as well.
For sure.
Which is really cool. But speaking of that, you know, you guys are about to start season here. You've already got practices on the way for the fall sports season officially now. What are you looking forward to seeing out of the team this year? You guys have a kind of a good bounce back year after a great run last year. What are you looking forward to this year?
I mean, coming off a state runner-up, there's a lot of hype around our team,
Yeah.
especially with the girls, which I love to see. We lost 2 seniors last year who were huge parts of our teams. Olivia Dixon, who scored 50 goals, which is going to be tough to replace, but we got a score by committee this year, I think. And Haley Stadler, who went to Edinburgh to play, was also an integral part of this team and was on the field almost every minute of every game. So I think what I'm most excited about is we have a great balance of young kids, freshmen and sophomores, and a good balance of juniors and seniors. Not only that, but we had a lot of freshmen play and start and almost play the whole game in the state final game, along with juniors and now seniors, who have that experience and know what it takes to get there. So they can help this new freshman class, who there are some girls that are going to get some significant playing time on varsity level. They can help them and show them, hey, listen, we did this last year. We know what it takes. We got to go a little bit further than what we did to make it to our main goal, which is the state championship. So I think that's exciting that we've been there, so the girls know how to get there.
Yeah.
And know what it takes to get there. And going further, now we've been in practice for 2 weeks. First couple weeks, you know, you're meshing a bunch of different girls together. You're trying to find the right formation, right starting lineup, right mesh of girls. But last week it really started to click with the girls. And they're moving the ball around great. They're having fun. They're enjoying each other. So I'm excited to see how we continue to grow as a family.
That's really cool. Do they feel that I want to call it pressure or expectation themselves because of the run you guys had last year? Do they themselves kind of feel that as well, would you say?
I mean, I think there's always a little bit of pressure when you did it. I've been preaching to the girls, hey, listen, we kind of went under the radar last year.
Yeah.
And 2 years, 3 years prior, we didn't even make the state playoffs. So now we have a giant target on our backs.
Yeah.
So everyone always wants to beat prep, no matter who you are. As we always say, you either love us or you hate us, right? There's no
right.
in-between ground.
Yep.
But so now we have this giant target on our back. Everyone knows who we are. Everyone knows we only lost 2 seniors. Everyone in this community knows the freshmen that we're bringing in. So I've heard from other coaches how you're going to have a nice trip to the state finals again this year, right? So yeah, there is some pressure on us. But I think pressure is a good thing at times. I mean, it makes you work that much harder because people are expecting you to do a certain thing. As long as you stay in your family, your tight-knit group, and realize what we're trying to accomplish and block out all the outside noise.
Yeah.
And just focus on what we can do as a team, which we always preach to them. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Don't worry about what the fans are saying. Don't worry about what the other team's saying. Don't worry about the officials on the field. Just worry about what you can control.
Yep.
Control your controllables, we like to say.
And you stole the words out of my mouth, the outside noise, right? The voices, those expectations are usually put on by other people, right? A lot of to your point, the coaches saying, hey, you guys are probably going to make another run this year. And yeah, you're exactly right. As Cathedral Prep, we're most schools' Super Bowl when they play us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest game of their season. Is if they can beat Prep, that makes their whole season. But now you add in the great run you guys had last year. Now it's not just beating Prep, it's beating a team of this caliber as well is a big thing for their program. So yeah, there's a big target on the back now. Yeah. But I think to your point, it's good to have pressure. It's good to have those expectations and just to face them head on and stick together as a group.
You're correct.
Yeah. Can you share with us a little bit about your coaching staff too? I think it'd be nice for the listeners to know who's also a part of the program and maybe how many years they've been coaching with you now too.
So Tim Cashone is on my staff. He's been with me for 5 years. His daughter Callie is going into her sophomore year at Tiffin playing there. He has another daughter, Cece, who's going to be a junior on our team. I'll never forget the call when I said Cashone was coming to coach with me and his daughter was coming to play at Prep. Bill called me and goes, how the heck did you get a Cashone over at Prep? And I just started laughing because I knew of Callie, and Callie came and shadowed the school, and she was moving up here from Texas, and she was trying to decide where she wanted to go. Tim went to McDowell. His dad coached at Vincent and was a big McDowell supporter. I just called him and gave him, was open and honest with him and said, hey, listen, I can't guarantee your daughter any playing time at varsity, but if she comes out and gives the best she can and makes it hard for me to keep her off varsity, then she earns a varsity spot. And then it's a time of playing time. How hard are you going to work to earn that spot? She ended up starting as a freshman. And to this day, he'll always tell me that is the exact reason I came to Prep. You were open, you were honest to me. You told me exactly what I needed to hear to tell my daughter to have her decision. He had calls with other coaches in the area and said, oh yeah, she's a varsity starter, no problem. He liked that fact that she had to earn it. It wasn't just given to her.
Yeah.
Which is what I tell everyone that walks up to open house. Listen, we have a great program. I'm not going to guarantee you anything. We'd love to have you here. We want you to come be a part of our family. But I'm not just going to go, hey, I want you this bad, varsity starter.
Right.
It just doesn't seem fair to who else is on the team at the time,
For sure.
in my opinion. And then Matt Sparaga, who's been with us for the last 3 years, I actually coached him at Prep. He works for the Erie FC club, coaches up there. He's been a great addition to our team. Great soccer mind, great player, great kid. Girls like him, which makes it good.
Yeah.
Makes it easy to bring that guy on. And they've both been great help for me, helping create this family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's important for people to know who else is a part of this with you, because obviously you're leading the team, you're leading the staff and all that. But as you know, and you'd probably tell us more than I can say to you, your assistant coaches and the amount of help that they provide you is essential to the program's
Correct.
Success. Yeah.
Yeah, assistant coaches can't be yes men.
Right.
They sometimes have to argue back with the head guy to make sure we're making the right decisions.
That's good. We all need that.
Yeah.
And you've talked a lot about culture already, but you've been a part of so many successful teams that, what are some of the non-negotiables that you try to emphasize with your team in terms of what helps create that culture of success among a group?
Our big thing is you have to be a team player. I've stressed all off-season in our volunteer workouts that, hey, listen, we have a bunch of girls that can play in a bunch of different positions, that can start a bunch of different games. We have a really good problem where we have depth and a lot of different starters could be in any game. It's a great problem to have, but it's also a very tough problem to have.
Yeah.
Because every kid in high school wants to be a varsity starter and wants to play every minute of every game. So being a team player is a big thing we've been stressing. If you're not in the starting lineup for that particular game, you can't drop your head. If you don't play as many minutes as you wanted to, you can't drop your head. When you're on the bench, you have to be supporting your team. You have to be a great teammate. And when you get the chance to get on the field, that person that you take off needs to be the same great teammate that they were for the person they were taking off.
Yeah.
I watched a video from an interview from Gino Auriemma, who's a decent coach in the college basketball ranks.
Just a bit.
But he says one of the biggest things he looks for in recruiting or even during games is body language. If you're not engaged in the game and you're not supporting your teammate, you're not playing. Or if he's recruiting a girl and she goes on the bench and she just sits at the end of the bench and drops her head, puts a towel over it, and is not engaged in the game, he's most likely not recruiting you. No matter how good you are. You have to be a good teammate. Successful teams have a bench of 15 girls, I think we have on our varsity bench, that some of them may never play in that state playoff run. But if you're up cheering and supporting, you're a big part of that team. So I think being a good teammate, having positive body language is a huge aspect.
I think people don't always understand those little things that do make a big difference. And to your point, being a good teammate, being there to cheer on one another, sounds like something little, sounds like something minor. But when you talk about creating a culture of success and creating a team that's going to go on to win a state championship, those little things are what makes a difference, right? Because if you had a group of girls that, to your point, were hanging their head, not engaged in the game, even though they weren't the starter, now you got disruption among the team, and it's going to not end up in good conversations, and it just creates a big distraction that the team doesn't need to ultimately achieve the ultimate goal of a state championship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We actually had a scrimmage last night, and our girls on the bench were incredibly loud. They were doing a great job, almost too good of a job, where at halftime I was like, girls, just tone it down a notch. You can tell them 3 things, cheer them on when they make a good play, but we as coaches have to coach. The girl can't be like receiving the ball and be like, one girl on the bench is saying pass it to her, another girl saying pass it to her, another girl saying pass it to her. So there's a fine line of where you want to be and where you don't want to be. We just got to find that fine.
And it's got to be fun coaching at the high school level, because you get a new group. Not every year it's a new group, but you get new faces. You have the faces leave. So probably a majority of the team kind of carries over. You're probably emphasizing some of the same things every year. You know, I'm sure that's not the first time you've had to address a team at that thing.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun and which is interesting. And and that's a good segue to the next thing I want to talk to you about too, which was, you are coaching at the high school level, and these are some of the best years that these girls will remember for the rest of their life. You were talking earlier about when you get together with your buddies, and you're talking about your prep soccer memories, right?
Yeah.
These are stories that we'll share at our 50th class reunion
Correct.
as well, right? So how do you balance, pushing your team to compete at a high level that they're capable of achieving, and they are part of the program because they want to achieve at the high level, but you also got to keep it fun. These are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old girls. How do you kind of balance that high competition, we want to win a state title, with these are high school girls, let's make it fun too?
I think as a coaching staff, we do a really good job at this, especially when we have like a couple days of practice before a game. We make it light, we make it fun. We joke with the girls. We have a lot of laughs on the field. We make some of these practices just like, let's go out and enjoy the game that we love to play.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about the X's and O's. Let's not worry about the mistakes we made. Let's not get called out for things that we aren't doing that we're supposed to be doing. And just go out there and have a fun practice and enjoy ourselves. Now, when it comes time to that practice before a game day, it's 100% focus. We're 100% serious. Not only do we do that in practice, but we also do a lot of team bonding stuff. We'll go out, we'll have dinners together, and we'll sit around the table and we'll joke and we'll laugh about funny things that have happened in practice and happened during games or whatnot. So I think we balance that very well with those fun practices, those light area practices where we just let the girls be the girls and
Yeah.
just have fun, go out and chalk and laugh and fall on the ground and just be a high school kid.
Yeah.
But again, when it comes time to those days before big games, like, let's get down to business, let's get serious.
Right.
But I mean, it's that how you balance those fun practices with that seriousness of the game.
Yeah, you want the girls to be happy they're part of the program,
Correct.
not think of it as
A job.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. You don't want them to have that perception because they already got school, they got all the homework and the things that they need to do to. We want academic success as well. It's the whole point of why they're at the school. But when it comes to the soccer program, yeah, this should be an area of fun. It is soccer. It's a game. It should be fun. But let's also learn some lessons and let's be successful while we do it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really neat. And it is cool. Earlier, to just kind of start to kind of wind down this conversation, everything you've been talking about the team culture, the family atmosphere, all the different things you've talked about is what creates that culture of excellence and creates that successful team chemistry. And it's neat that one of those teams you're a part of, as we mentioned earlier, will be recognized into the Prep Athletic Hall of Fame for the 2015 Villa soccer team. I guess, can you talk to us a little bit about that team, how you felt when you got the news that team was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and just how happy you were for the girls and the whole team?
Well, I was sitting at my kitchen table with my wife, and we were just finishing up dinner, getting ready to put my son down, and I get a text message, and it's to me in Afram from Bill. This is interesting. I open it, read it, I get a big smile on my face. My wife looks across and goes, "What was that?" I said, "Oh, the 2015 team's just getting inducted into the Hall of Fame." And she said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "That's awesome." We both were like, "This is great." I just had a big smile on my face. Couldn't be more proud. Not that being said, when the announcement was made on Twitter, I get a text message from probably in a group of 5 dads from that team. And someone sent the article. Everyone else was like, "This is awesome. This is great." And now they're all starting to plan, okay, we got to do something after the event or before the event and just get together so that we can talk and hang out. And I think most of them are coming. So it's just cool how that gesture brings back people who may not speak to each other as much as they once did when they were players here.
Yeah.
I still see some of the parents out in the community. We always talk about it. One person in particular I actually worked with, Margaret Gruszewski, whose daughter Audrey was on that team and made the assist for the game-winning goal.
Wow.
And about 3 to 4 times a year for the last 4 years, I've been at Wilson with her. She comes up to me and is like, "I just had a dream," or "I just thought about that game and got goosebumps." I just love thinking about that. It was one of the most fun memories I have watching Audrey play soccer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these 10 years later, parents are still thinking about it.
Yeah.
I see Audrey every now and then. Now that she's back in Erie, she still thinks about it. We talk about it. So it's a very special honor. I couldn't be more happier for the girls. I mean, they're the ones that put all the work into getting there.
Yeah.
Us coaches help guide them into the right direction, but they were the ones that got the job done, and they got to bring home that gold medal. And I'm guessing, a time they will never forget.
Yeah. Well, it's a great recognition and honor of that team to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I think as well is it's great to put the light on your program as well. You don't strive for thinking 10 years down the road this team's going to be in the Athletic Hall of Fame, right? When you're coaching your team now. But I'm sure looking back at that team, they're obviously so deserving to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Not only their accomplishment, but I'm sure you would say the girls on that team in general also deserving to be a part of that group of people now that are in the Hall of Fame here at Prep, Prep and Ville, I should say. But yeah, just so cool. It's neat to see, and congratulations again. It's a great spotlight on you and the program and the culture you guys have created there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got one last question for you, and just kind of winding down, like I mentioned on the episode, and it's been fun, talking about kind of going down memory lane with you, talking about your time at Prep, talking about this upcoming season. I'm really excited, probably because woke up this morning and the cool air feels like fall time now. The first football game's tonight. Fall sports season's about to start. It's the second day of school for the students at Prep. It's just an exciting time of the year. I love fall time for all those reasons. Last question I kind of have for you, Pete, is what advice would you share with today's prep students who want to excel in athletics in the classroom? And I think it's a great question to kind of end on with you, because obviously you were an accomplished student here at Prep. If you had Joanne Mullen, that means you were a smart kid, especially your junior year. Athletics, very accomplished, and now you've been coaching for so many years, and I'm sure you've learned so much in that process of working with the girls and boys from your tenure as well, to be able to help kind of lead them and guide them. But what advice would you share with today's student in regards to they want to be an excellent student, excellent in the athletics and whatnot?
I would say commit yourself to the classroom and follow your dreams. Prep has a great core of teachers that will help you get to where you want to be in the classroom. If you want to go to Harvard Law, commit to yourself. If that's your dream. Commit in the classroom. Ask for help. Prep is a great place to prepare yourself for college, not only athletically on my side, but also academically. I mean, I look at where the kids go every year, and I'm amazed at where some of our students are going. I mean, they're going to some of the highest colleges in the country and being successful there. So that just shows what the academics has to offer here at Prep. I mean, when you follow your dreams, I think you have to realize that utilize the resources that Prep and Villa has to offer. We have a giant core of alumni that are behind you and want to see you succeed. Utilize what Prep has to offer, I guess, would be my main thing. The alumni are great here. They are willing to help out. I mean, you guys have that Shark Tank thing.
Yeah.
You're used to. I don't know if it still is a thing. But we'd have alumni in there who would jump at an opportunity to maybe invest in this idea that some kid came for. I mean, if you have a dream of creating something, you have tons of alumni that would be willing to assist. You just got to utilize the resources the school has to offer.
That's right. We're creating the opportunities that are available for the students who want to succeed. And I'm sure you would say, just as well as athletics, you are here to help your student athletes achieve whatever level of success they want. And you will push them and help them to get to as far as you can to help them.
Correct.
That's awesome. No, I appreciate you taking the time to come in, Pete. It's fun. We're recording this on Friday. The episode's coming out Monday, so we're getting you fresh from your scrimmage last night. And, I just wish you best of luck on your season ahead. And we all look forward to cheering you guys on and seeing how far this team can go.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.